Welcome to St. Andrews. This is the International Year of the Organ. And to celebrate, the American Guild of Organists has organized hundreds and perhaps over 1,000 organ spectacular concerts on this day. I got my first internet notices this morning before church from Australia and New Zealand, where the concerts had already been going on. They've already happened, of course, in Europe, and now they're sweeping through the US and Canada. I'm Russ Greene, the organist and choirmaster of St. Andrews, and I'm very proud to be performing today with my very good friend Tony Harwood-Jones, who many of you know in quite a different role. We're going to take you on a global tour today in celebration of the International Year of the Organ. You just heard the trompeteria, the Spanish reeds that are so characteristic of the Spanish organ. The biggest challenge that organ builders have had to face all through the ages, particularly, of course, in medieval times, is how to make it loud enough with a minimum amount of wind, because they all had to be pumped by hand. So how do we do that? Well, reeds don't take as much wind as flue pipes, which are just big whistles. And so they produce lots of volume, a little bit of wind, and that's what the Spanish did. They built banks and banks of reeds called trompeterias, which typically would come out horizontally right above the performer's head. Because of course, the mechanical organs had to be right beside the pipes, because all the keys were connected with wires and sticks and little wheels and things to the pipe valves themselves. So you lived inside the organ with pipes all about you and above you. And the trompeterias would come out right above your head, and it would always be on the west wall of the church. From Spain, though, we got the swell box to control expression, which basically puts a box around the pipes and shutters in the front to open and let the sound out. And they invented the toy counter. The Spanish organs of the time were the background instruments for medieval plays. And they had bird whistles and thunder machines and all sorts of stuff to add to the drama of the medieval play. Of course, the credit for the swell box went to the English, and the credit for the toy counter went to Wurlitzer. But the Spanish really did do it. Tony's going to join me now for the Allegro from Bach's Flute Sonata in E. Now, much keyboard music of Bach's day was interchangeable between organ and harpsichord. You got to remember that organists did a lot of their practicing, probably most of their practicing, and even composing on the harpsichord, not on the organ, because it was so difficult to call in a crew of pumpers every time you wanted to play something. So we're going to use harpsichord for this piece. Now, we're doing that through the wonders of MIDI and sampling, but harpsichords, I found in my research for this concert, were quite often made playable from organ consoles in Bach's time. Much like Wurlitzer made pianos playable on the theater organs that came later in the early part of this century. And so we do have appropriate historical precedent, although maybe we didn't actually have a German triple like we're going to be using today.